And one day there was a knock at the door, and a young blonde woman with glasses came in. And I said, "Who are you?" And she said, "My name's Cinda Firestone." I said, "What can I do for you?" And she said, "I've written an article about you." She had written an article about me. I read it quickly. I said, "This isn't very good." She said, "No, I know it isn't. I'm really here to ask you for a job." I could see Mary signaling, no, no. So I said to her, "Did you go to Sarah Lawrence?" She said, "Yes." And I knew Mary had gone to Sarah Lawrence. So I said, "Okay, there's a job here for an apprentice editor. You'd have to work under Mary." And she did. She was very good at what she did. And then she started telling me stories. And she said, "You know, when I was a child, I loved J. Edgar Hoover." I said, "How could anybody love J. Edgar Hoover? That's the most impossible thing I've ever heard of. How?" She said, "Well, you know, he used to come with Clyde to visit my father in Palm Beach. My father was a very strict man. He would always say, 'Cinda, eat your peas. Cinda, you haven't finished your carrots.' And whenever J. Edgar Hoover was there, he'd say, 'Oh, Harvey, why don't you give Cinda a butterscotch sundae instead of peas or carrots?' And she said, 'You know, I was 9 years old, 10 or something. I thought he was the kindest, sweetest old boy I'd ever seen. And I really liked him.' And it wasn't until the time that I was really in college that I realized who and what he really was." Cinda went on to make one of the most radical films of the 60s. It was called Attica. It was about the rebellion of prisoners at Attica and the extraordinary response of the state, in which quite a few people were killed. Helicopters were used, just like the Vietnam War. It was absolutely extraordinary to me that every police action that was heavy duty reminded you precisely of the Vietnam War. Choppers flying over a prison. Those people were unarmed.